Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you are going to hate me by the end of this video. Hello and welcome to KAIZR Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about KAIZR Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. And today we are talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 things that KAIZR Chiefs fans got wrong this season. And I know I've talked about Zwane already, I've talked about the management. Now it's time for me to talk about you. So the first thing includes being plumbers. We are plumbers at a very high rate. Tina Balandil Chiefs. Well, football fans in general are usually plumbers. And I'll make an example. Beginning of the season, something that I was involved in. Remember when we said, we want Caleb, we want Caleb. Sasfunu Caleb put in. We wanted Caleb beginning of the season because the management was taking too long to sign Caleb. And Ompilo was sitting here saying, oh, if the striker has been with you for three weeks trialing, that means you saw something and you liked him, and all of a sudden you are releasing that striker. So that means basically you are not good in your recruitment, blah, blah, blah. And we're all just bashing the management for not signing Caleb, and we're just blaming them. Only to find out the player was not what we wanted. We were just going according to what we were told. Oh, he already scored goals in the preseason and he did this and he did that. And that was plumbering. And that's not just the only signing. I'm making an example with someone who actually got signed, not because we complained, but he got signed and then we turned on him after we complained and wanted him to be signed. So what I'm trying to point out is that there are signings that we as fans want just based on the YouTube videos that we see, and then we say we want that player is a good player. Or we see one game when they're playing against the Chiefs and we're like, oh, that player is a good player, Chiefs should be signing that player, only to find good that player is not that great. And then when they come to Chiefs, they don't perform, and then you find out good, oh, the fans were just plumbering. And I think that's one of the things that we did. We plumbered and we wanted Caleb, and Caleb has proved he's actually not what the publications advertised him as. So we were wrong in that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that even as fans, we always talked about the coach and how he has favorites here and that, but we also have our own favorites, right? For example, I know there's some people who already say Umpilo, your favorite is Ngezan, but I can also make the same counter argument with you, Guti. Your least favorite player is Ngezan, because he's made mistakes, even though this season he has come back and made a very good comeback. Well, that's redundant. Although this season he played bad and then he recovered afterwards and played better, there are some people who still want to find fault in whatever Ngezana is doing. That's the first player who is my favorite, Tik. And then you go to Steb. Steb didn't have a good season when it started, but he came back, he improved. But there are some people who are still saying, no, Stebe is not good enough, he's not Chiefs quality. But look at the stats when Stebe is there and when Stebe is not there, right? You have Umahlats. Umahlats has been barely given an opportunity to play. But there are people who are already dismissing him. He's not been given nearly as much opportunity as Osehot. Yet Osehot has played, and we've seen Uguti, he always does the same thing and has become predictable to players. Yet people still want Osehot and they don't care whether Umahlats gets an opportunity or not, right? You have a lot of these players that have not been given an opportunity and that the fans prefer. Like Ukune. Ukune hasn't had a good season, but a lot of people still want him to play ahead of Peterson because he's Mzansi's number one and blah, blah, blah. We see Uguti Chiefs how they play from the back. They need, well, what they wanted to do anyway, to play from the back. They need players who are comfortable on the ball. Matoho is not one of those players, but people have been pushing agenda Uguti Matoho should play ahead of Udove because Udove are boss. But Udove has made these mistakes in the last few games. The entire season he was solid. So all of these other players, I can go on and about all the other players that are there in the team that we as fans have them as our favorites, yet sometimes they're not really what the team requires. Goes back once again to the thing, Yoguti. We just go according to a favoritism and we make it seem like, no, that's the most logical thing to do, but sometimes it's just us plumbering. If you are hating what I'm saying, please dislike the video. If you are liking it, please like the video so that it can help YouTube reach more people like you. Anyways, moving on to the other one. is once again something almost similar to Caleb. The 180 on Zwane. I'm still one of those people who are still, I know, maybe a minority, yes, minority of the people to say, I still honestly believe Ugutu Zwane can do better next season. He has hopefully seen our mistakes and is hopefully going to get better players who are going to play in the system that he wants them to play. But there are also other people, I know even in this channel, there are a lot of people who have said Zwane for the first 15% of the season, and then they've turned against him. I know Khosi, there are also some who were just like, no Zwane from the start, but a lot of people were like Zwane, and then they changed. Isn't that just a reflection of what usually happens with us KAIZR Chiefs fans? When the coach first comes in, we're always like, yeah, the coach. But then they hit some few bumps and then we turn against them. I will be honest, Uguti, back in 20, I forget when Hunt was appointed, but I was one of those people who said, Hunt, we want Hunt, because I wanted to win something. I forgot about the kind of football that he was playing. But then when he started playing that football, I realized I plumbered. I will be the one to admit I plumbered, because I don't want to put myself in a position where I seem like I'm an expert and I'm never wrong. No, I am wrong a lot of times, and that is why I never say I'm an expert. No, this is where fans meet and talk about KAIZR Chiefs. So I've plumbered myself, and I know a lot of us plumber in this regard. Sometimes we say Zwane this, and then the next week Zwane say a bad. Then following week Uzwane, the following week Uzwane say a bad. So even Guatina, there's been this complete 180 on Uzwane. Uzwane was good. All of a sudden, Uzwane was bad. And the other thing, the fourth thing, is what Rulani said. We should be careful with the youngsters, that we do not overhype them. And the problem with overhyping abadlali is that when they stop delivering, then we say inkomo, then we say hinja, they are now objects, they are called things. Abalandeli bebhola babuye bahluphe. Because look at umduki star this. Kangadlala for 2 games useyinkomo. Uzwane umnandi, usamkela unephasi enzima. All of a sudden, 1 game it doesn't perform, useyinja. These youngsters abazilutho. Kumele bakhishwe ingane lezi azazilutho. But my performer, he's better than Kundokani, he's better than De Bruyne, Umdu is better than Messi. How kahleni bu? And then the following week he doesn't have a good game, he knows nothing. Singo 180 nje sishona le nale. Even nabono Caleb, even kwayona Chiefs, uZwane kwayena wayesebizwa ngo Arthur Zwaniola. Yeah, but we overhype everything. And since we put everything up here, when we get disappointed, we get so ashamed, and then we try to find someone else to blame. And it's our fault. Chiefs were never in a position where they were better than Bayern. I know it's banter at some point, but some people realistically believe Gucci Chiefs were better than Bayern. Because you see how they get disappointed when Chiefs loses. Because you like, why would you even expect Chiefs to win 10 games in a row in this season while there are so many holes in the team? Yet you are expecting Uzwaniola to work his magic every other game. It's not going to happen. You are setting yourself up for failure by making Chiefs seems like they're Bayern. They are far from it. They are far from being like City. Like, they are not even close to being like Sundowns. So how are they going to skip and become Alal? Well, not even Alal. How are they going to skip all those steps and start playing like Man City? Come on. What did I leave out? Are you angry with me? Let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.